Bibles to the book of Luke, chapter 15. It's a story you're all very, very familiar with, I am sure. Okay, Luke chapter 15. And I'm not going to talk this whole time, okay? I need you guys to get involved in this a little bit and use your imagination and just say what's on your mind, and we'll talk as we go through. So we're going to look here at chapter 15, verse 11 and 12. Who would like to read verse 11 and 12? Yes? There you go.
And he said, there was a man who had 2 sons. Verse 12. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me. And he divided his property between them.
Okay, so let's have a little discussion here. Here is a father. How many sons has he got? 2. Okay. What do you think his home life would have been like? What would it have been like living in this house? This is where I'm asking you to use your imagination, think outside the box. What would it be like living in this house with an older brother or a younger brother? What would it be like? What's it like for you guys having a brother and sister? Or a brother and another brother? Yes? Okay, so you're not lonely? You've got company? Yes? Okay, are you? Okay, that's tricky for being honest. That's what happens, isn't it? Yes? Being envy. Okay, yeah, that's another good one of the other things. Happens in your home. Yeah. So the younger brother might pick on you, and the older brother might pick on you then. So we don't know what this person's house was like, his home life. We know he's got a father, he's got 2 brothers within this home, and we're going to say that everything must have been okay. They must have been happy with each other. I'm sure they would have had great times together, and I'm sure there would have been times when they've been fighting with one another and arguing with one another, because that's what siblings do, yeah? Notice this here for a second. This here is a piece of string, okay? And this piece of string represents your life, if you wish. So the silver one here, you see the silver one? Imagine that's the young boy's life, the younger son's life at home. So his life is very short, isn't it? How old do you think he was when he left home? Any ideas? I guess. 9? Wow, that's really young. Anybody else? 16? Or 16? 16, okay, yeah. 16 would be quite an age, wouldn't it? So let's just pretend that this length of this time is 16 years of this young boy's life, okay? That's it, 16 years of this young boy's life. Let's go ahead and read verse 13 to 16, but before we do that, let me introduce you to somebody. His name is Josh. Josh, want to come up? And Josh is going to go through this story with us. Earlier on, remember we had a case study, yeah? You had a story of something, and you had to make up what kind of lessons you get from it. Well, Josh is going to be my live object lesson today, okay? He's going to be that very person. So this part, I'm just going to ask Josh, you know, what life was like for you when you were younger, before you left house.
So, the first model as a kid was actually pretty good. Well, one of those fond memories is when I come back home with my sister, and in the winter it was a brand new dog, little puppy, down as Oscar. That was such a good memory. Me and my sister had ups and downs, we got along really well. My childhood memories were good. Love seeing her, love seeing the family. It was just playing pool, coffee.
Okay, good, thank you. So, you know, yeah, that bigger sister and big sisters do, they could be a lot of the bossy signs, can't they? So they had their moments growing up together and things like that. himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into the fields to feed pigs. Okay. Oh, sorry. Was up to 16, yeah? Yeah, 15. 15 is what we want. 16 is what we want, sorry. 16. It says, and he was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. Okay, so picture the scene. Here's a young boy, yeah, whatever age he is, or some teenager, and getting up and going. He demanded his inheritance from his parents, and the inheritance is basically equals money, yeah, and lots of it. And who wouldn't like a lot of money, yeah? So that, yeah, we all would like a lot of money at times. So here's this young boy, he wants money. His dad says, okay, there you go, there's your share of it. Now, he's happy at home. Yeah, he maybe has up and downs with his brother, but he's happy at home. But now that he's left home, what's happened? What's happened since he left home? In the text which is read. Exactly. The life isn't exactly what he thought it was going to be, was it? You guys, what are you going to be when you grow up? Anybody want to share what you'd like to do when you grow up? Yes? A what? A footballer? Okay. Anybody else? Anybody, what would you like to do when you get up and grow old? Yes? An engineer? Yeah, good. So we've all got expectations, don't we? We all want to do something great with our lives. And we all have ambitions. And we all have our goals that we want to do. But this young man, he was happy at home. And he's now where? Feeding pigs. Feeding pigs. Wait a minute. Didn't he have a whole load of money from his father? Didn't he inherit a whole load of wealth? Yeah, he did. So, where's it gone? What does he spend it on? Parties? Gambling? You never know. The text doesn't really tell us, it just says way of living. That could stand for anything, isn't it? But here's a man who started with everything. He had the love of his father, the love of his brother. He didn't have to care about anything. And now he's out in the real world, and things have gone pear-shaped. Do you think he made friends when he went out to the world? Yeah, I think he would have made friends. Yeah. Where is his friends now? Where is his friends? Where's his family? Where's his wealth? Do you see what's happened? He had it all right where he was, but he wanted to go out to the world and experience the world for himself, and as a result, he lost everything. Let me ask you a question. When are you guys get ready to go to college or university? Anybody? Anybody like to go to college and university when you... Yeah? Okay. So what do you think life is going to be like when you get to university? It's going to be good? Yeah? What's life going to be like?
Finally have peace to actually think.
You're going to have peace to think? Yeah? Okay. David, you're at university. What is life like?
I'm enjoying it. Various those things. It is good. I do have peace to think. But no, it's also challenging. It comes with its challenges, it comes with its rewards after those challenges. And there are good people who can do that too.
Yep. So, the reality is this. The young boy wanted that money to go to the world because he thought this was the bee's knees. This was going to be brilliant. But the reality was nothing like he had dreamed. It's great that you want to go to university. It really is. And it's great when you guys grow up a little bit and you think, I can't wait to get out of this house. Yeah? I'm sick and tired of living with my mum and dad. I can't wait to get out and get my own house. But you know what? That comes with a whole load of dangers. And dangers can't even see. Let me bring Josh back up here, because he's going to talk about how his idea of the word was, and then he's going to explain the reality of it.
So when my dad left, I was living at my mum's. I got a job when I left school as a manufacturer in Windows. And then with my money, I used to squander it. I used to go to parties pretty much every weekend. I used to do what my mates wanted to do. I got a lot of bills, never really paid for them, nothing like that. And then as I gradually got older, I got onto the scene of doing drugs. And it was, at the start, it was once a week, maybe twice a week, and it escalated. I did that for about a year. It escalated, and the second year I was doing it 3-4 times a week, not going to work. Ringing up my dad, telling lies, asking for money for car insurance or something like that, which is a lie. I was just using it to spend all the money on drugs. And it got to a certain point towards the end, I got my dream job finally as a surveyor, and I squandered it, didn't pay for my insurance on my car, and I was sniffing drugs every day for about a year, and my mental health went down to the point of I didn't want to really be here no more. So when the police pulled me over and said I had no insurance, I hit my bottom. I had to quit my job, had nothing, and on a Saturday I was in bed crying, and I called my dad saying I need help. Bearing in mind I've lied to him, I've done drugs for the last 3 years, I've deceived him, and it wasn't a good place for my life. And then on that Saturday, my dad took me in, open army, and he said it'll be okay. I was 14.5 grand in debt, and as of 3 months ago, yesterday, I was debt clean. I paid off my debt. I have now got 2.5 grand in savings, and I'm looking to get my next car. And if it weren't thanks to my dad, I don't think I'd be here right now. My dad is
The world appears to offer you all kinds of wonderful things and wonderful fixes. And it's not just about drugs, but there's alcohol out there, there's sex out there, there's a whole bunch of stuff out there that just wants to grab you and destroy your life. And make no mistake about it, it will. And the reason I wanted Josh to come and talk a little bit is because, like I said, he's a live object lesson. If he didn't reach out, you know what would have happened? I would have been burying myself. He was in such a place where he had 3 options. He'd continue with the drugs until the drugs killed him. We're not just talking about light drugs here, we're talking about hereditary stuff. Or the drug dealers would have killed him. You see, this is the reality in the real world. So when you're thinking about growing up, and I can't wait to leave the house, I can't wait, always be aware that there is danger out there as well. And if you think, well, you're scaring me right now, well, you know what? Good. Good. I'm glad there is a bit of fear, because it just wrecks people's lives. It wrecks them. Now, the boy in the story had lost everything, and when he had the money, he had his friends saying, Josh, yeah, you've got a bit of money, and you've got a bit of dope and all that stuff, everybody wants to be your friend, but the minute you lose it all, nobody wants to know. And let me tell you this, as blunt as I can here, okay? Drug dealers don't care what happens to you. They don't care. If you get addicted, or you get run over, or you die, guess what? They don't care. Do you know who cares? Father. Father. No, notice in the story, we're going to read all this, we're kind of running out of time here. But notice in the story what happens next. And before we get there, let me just quickly remind me of this. So here, like I said earlier, this is your life, if you wish. Yeah, on a piece of string. That's a length of your life. And so the first part of your life, you're at home, the silver part. Yeah, everything is going really, really great. Everything's well. So here we get to the second part. This is the part where the young boy left his parents and they lost absolutely everything. Yeah. So how long do you think that period of time would have took in his life? Just have a guess. The Bible doesn't tell us. Have a guess. Use your imagination. How long? 1 year, 2 years?
4 months.
4 months? You keep? 5 years? Yeah, that is all.
10 months.
10 months? Your guess is as good as mine. We don't know how long it took, but look how much he's added to his life, yeah? This is the length of his life now. That's the young part at home. Up to this point, he's been out and he's had his fun, yeah? It's turned out to be fun. Now notice in the rest of the story, verse 17 to 21. I'm going to read all this, okay? Please read it for yourself, because I haven't got time. I would have loved to get into the verses that would go over. You sure it's okay? Okay, let's go over verse 17 through 20. 20a, first half of 20. So now it's to be done. Yeah.
When he finally came to his senses, he said to himself, I don't need to hire servants out of the burden of his bread. Here I am dying of hunger. I will go to my father and say, Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you, and I am no longer worthy of being called your son. Please take me on as a hired servant. So he returned home to his father. A month was still going well. His father was coming. Filled with love and compassion, he ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you. I am no longer worthy of being called your son.
Notice the first line. When he came to his senses. What made him come to his senses? You know what came to his senses mean? You know what that means? Anybody?
My passage says, when he came to himself.
We came to himself, came to his senses. What does that mean? A realization, yeah? A realization of goodness, me, this is the real world we're living in. Yeah? So he's come to that realization. But what made him come to that realization? Pain. Anything else? Consequences. Yeah. Here's the guy, like I said, got everything and lost everything. And he's at the depths of his life, being a Jew, working on a pig pen. You're not going to ever be heard of. Yeah. But here he is, he's in that situation. He's absolutely desperate. But he comes to his senses. Josh, you want to come on here? What made you come to your senses?
I would say when I hit rock bottom, I had everything and I lost everything.
So that was the day
That
that.
was when I got.
Okay. So you notice in the story, is very in that part of the story, he's made up his mind, he's come to his senses, he's made up his mind, I'm going to go back. Where is he going to go? Home. He's going to go home. Why is he going to go home? His father was there. Well, wait a minute. If my dad had given me a load of money and I squandered it, I'm not quite sure if I'd want to go back home. Yeah? Yes. He's gone back to where things were genuine. See, in the world, it's not genuine. People pretend they care for you. People pretend they love you. But guess what? They don't. Half the time they just want to use you. But in the home, that's where genuine love is. That's where genuine care is. And so he gets back to the father. And you'll see, again, that he comes to his senses, and he goes back to the Father instead. Now look at verse 24. What's the Father's? Just read it. I'll ask one question, that's all going to do, because I am aware of time wise. What does it say there? Don't read that. 24.
For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate.
Yeah, is that to 24?
Now his older son was in the field, and as he came and really went to the house, he heard music and dancing. And called one of his servants and asked him, "What's this stillness?" And he said to him, "Your brother has come, and your father has paid the accounting house, because he has received him back safe and sound." But he was angry and refused to go in. His father came out and entered in. But he answered his father, "Look, many these years I served you, and I never disobeyed your commandment. Yet you gave me a young goat that I might celebrate to my friends. But when the son of yours came, who had devoured the property with prostitutes and killed the fattened calf for him, and said to him, 'Son, you are always with me, and this is mine, is yours.' It was fitting to celebrate. Mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive, he was lost and is found."
Okay. There's something very important here. What was the father's reaction when he saw his son coming? He ran. He ran. He ran towards him. And you notice, you might not know this, but in the Jewish culture, men wore long cloaks, yeah? They went down to their ankles. And it was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace to show your ankles in the Jewish culture. But for somebody to run, guess what they have to do? They have to lift up and expose those legs. Oh, wow. Father didn't care about anything, did he? He saw his son, and what did he do? They had a party. Yeah? They celebrated, they had a party. You think that was the best move this young son did? You think that was the best thing he could have done after screwing up? Yeah, absolutely. You see, I am sure the father who represents God in this story, I am sure that the father was always looking out for his son. Just as I knew exactly what Josh was up to, just as I knew and had to watch with my own eyes him going from here to the depths and thinking, I don't know if he's going to be alive tomorrow. Just as I knew that, I saw and I still loved and I still cared. I didn't quit, I didn't give up on him. Something else was happening in the background. You know what that was? Oh, who that was? Yep. God. Josh, one final time. That day you called me.
Yeah.
Explain the conversation we had and the person we were talking about.
So, the conversation I had is, I wanted to move up, I wanted a fresh start. First thing he said to me, "Oh, what are you trying to come up, straight?" So I did. And when I've come up, when we had a conversation, one of the first things he said, he used to text me every day saying, "We're doing a 30-day prayer for the non-Christians in his life." And on the 30th day, that was the day I called him to say I need help. And that blew my mind. It was eye-opening to me. And as we had discussions on this, it's the Holy Spirit working into me. And it was a turning point in my life.
Okay. See, although things may look grim and bare, the church at Autumn, Steve and Sheila and we are part of, we decided to pray for 30 days for every single member of our families who weren't Christians. And there's a lot. Day 30, Josh calls. And through the night's first reaction was, "Thank you, Father. Thank you." This son of mine was dead, but now he's very much alive. He's not yet a Christian, pray that that step comes next. And he knows I've never had that. I hope and pray that comes next. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is that when you go out to the real world, and some things may go a bit pear-shaped, you might get involved in things that you think, I shouldn't be doing this. Or you say things and get involved with a group of people that are taking you away from God. Remember we were talking about the jug over there? You know, what you felt in that jug is going to dominate what's important in your life. If you screw up, if you mess up at any time, regardless of how big it is or how little it is, always remember this: you've got a Father who's waiting with open arms for you to come back. Never forget that, please. If you never get nothing out of this lesson, get that. No matter how you mess up, how bad it is in your eyes, your Father is waiting to forgive you. He's waiting to take you back. There's nothing you can do that He's going to say, forget that. Nothing. That's how much He loves you. And just to finish with, you notice that end story with the older brother. What's his reaction? Rage. Yeah. When this son of yours who says comes home, you throw a party, you never do anything for me. Some people are never going to be happy. That's the reality of it. But if you need a group of people that are leading you away from God, they're not going to be happy. It doesn't matter. All that matters is your relationship with God. Keep that going all the days of your life. So just to finish with, how long do you think this young guy lived?
80 years.
80 years? And he advances on 80 years? Yeah? So here we've got the three stages of his life, yeah? The young stage when he's at home, the crazy stage when he leaves home, and then he comes back to the Father, yeah? So let's just say 80 years. Say he lived to 80 years old. There's one thing missing, isn't there? What's missing? Anybody? What's missing? Yeah, if he dies here, what happens? Eternity. How long is eternity? How long is eternity? You can't measure it, can you? It's long, isn't it? You see, we park our lives and think about everything in these three stages. The young stage, when we're at home, we're doing great. We go out to the world, we screw up, and then we look at the rest of our life and we think that's it. That's tiny, isn't it? Compared to eternity. Look at it. This is your life. Here, at length. If this is all you think about, guess what's going to happen? You forget about the rest. You forget about eternal life. So I want to encourage you, I apologise for harping on a little bit today, okay? But I want to encourage you to just simply this. These are real stories of people who genuinely wreck their lives. And whether you're a Christian or not, those temptations in the world are going to come at you thick and fast to pull you away from God. But I want you to remember that when those things come, if you mess up and screw up, you are welcome to come back anytime. God's arms are always open. He's always looking out and thinking, is today the day that when they come to their senses? Is today the day that they'll come back in our loving arms? So it's my hope and my prayer that what we talk today will help us. Your answers are in the scriptures, as David spoke about earlier. But on a practical term, keep your relationship with God. And if you haven't got a relationship with God just now, let me encourage you to think about having one. It's the best decision you'll ever make in your life. Absolutely the best decision. Will being a Christian be hard? Absolutely it'll be hard. Anybody says become a Christian, well, it's going to be great, they'll lie through their teeth. It's challenging out there. got a Christian family around you, and a loving, caring Father in heaven, you've got all the support you need. The support that really matters, regardless of what's happening. God bless you. Thank you.